I'm Joanne Taaffe, Editor-in-Chief of TMF Inform, and I'm delighted to have with us Niven Huang, who's the General Manager of KPMG Sustainability, and he's an expert in sustainability, so we're very honoured to have him here at DTW.
Thank you very much. This is my honor to have the interview with you. Thank you.
So you're actually not just focused on telecoms, you have a cross-sector approach. And I was just wondering if you could begin by explaining how telecoms shapes up compared to other sectors when it comes to addressing sustainability.
Yeah, actually, the corporate sustainability study from environmental issues, I think it's several decades ago. It started from, the most pollution industry, like heavy industry.
Yeah.
And but up to now, especially in the last 2.5 years, because of COVID-19 impact, then everybody has already witnessed the social issues will be also very important risk for all of us, the health, safety, and then it is so obvious, no matter what kind of a situation, then the global supply chain will have quite negative impact by those kind of unexpected event, or for example, like the geopolitical conflicts or climate change or health issue. And right now, the telecommunication industries, especially in the COVID pandemics, it has already become a very, very important industry for supporting every one of us still can have, can move our life more forward. For example, like a lot of digitalization support can make the student can also learn at home, and the worker can still work at home, and the consumer can also shopping because of the e-commerce. So digitalization has been already regarded as the human right after COVID-19 impact by the World Economic Forum. So 3 decades ago, the sustainability study from how we can work out the challenges from heavy pollution industry, but now the telecommunication has already demonstrated another kind of a challenge. If we want to survive, survive means sustainability. So digitalization become very important ability to support everybody's life to be a little bit more sustainable. So that is for the positive side. But in another side, talk about the negative issues. Telecommunication, we all need digital device.
Yeah.
And then digital device will need energy, will need material. And then these two challenges, it's become more serious up to now. So if we want to move the whole world become more sustainable, the telecommunication industry also need to deliver good solution, but less and less resource consumption and environmental impact. So now we have already moved the whole world's technology, innovation, and a modern life into a completely new milestone for us to look at the sustainability challenges.
This is one of the, you touched on it yourself, one of the major challenges for telcos is the question of energy efficiency. And the more digital services we use, the more energy their networks use. Yes. Does KPMG have any sort of thoughts on how CSPs can sort of address this? Obviously, there are lots of different ways to go about it, but do you have any sort of advice on the best approach for telcos?
Yes, we, of course, because the mainstream telecom industry is still a challenge for all of the people working for this industry to be fully aware of the sustainability challenge in terms of energy efficiency. So no power, actually no telco business. So as long as power on, then we need to consider whether that is a clean power or dirty power. Especially in this exhibition, we also see a lot of demonstration about the cloud, the new cloud, smarter cloud, much more high speed or most efficient cloud that can enable a lot of new digital application for our modern life. But whether that is a clean cloud or dirty cloud, we also need to make the industry expert to be fully aware of that is strongly relevant, not just only advanced technology, but also the other side is we got to think about what will be the negative impact by dirty cloud that will result in a much more serious climate change. So I think currently the telecom industries, and we need to find out a total solution. That is, a cloud can enable us a smarter life, but also less environmental impact and resource dependency. So we, KPMG, we dedicated ourselves to develop a lot of tools to support our clients in this industry to have, for example, like the better strategic approach that can engage all of the key stakeholders internally to move forward on exploring the total solution. So that is one of our service. The second one is the real performance should be dependent on all of the different kind of function in telecom industry to conduct a much more strategic or innovative way for delivering a total solution. But how we can evaluate the outcome? Yes,
big question.
yeah. So we need to have a better metrics and to enable the telecom industry that they can evaluate whether they have already made significant progress.
That was one of the questions I wanted to ask you, actually, is how you measure this, especially as you move to the cloud. I suppose you're moving operations into scope 3 effectively because you're outsourcing a lot. And doesn't that make it even harder to work out what's been done?
Yes. So because, you know, KPMG as a professional organization, we are an accounting firm. So we put a lot of effort on building up the capacity for so-called carbon accounting, try to facilitate our clients in telecom industry to be able to conduct the greenhouse gas emission inventory into a much more structured way, and also to meet the capital markets need. Because the scope 1, scope 2 is much more easier, but scope 3, it will strongly related to the global supply chain.
Yeah, and also customers as well. You were talking about devices earlier. That's also encompassed by scope 3, isn't it?
And then, you know, no matter which brand of telecom brand and company, you know, Asian supplier play very important role for supporting the smarter devices assembly or key parts, etc. So we need to engage their supplier and try to provide our facilitation and support for making their supplier to be able to conduct a much more precisely consistent the greenhouse gas inventory emission accounting. So then those are kind of much more reliable data then can be integrated by the brand and company in the West into their scope 3 evaluation. And then the branding company will leverage their so-called maybe their impact or their bargaining power and try to engage their supplier in Asia Pacific to reduce their carbon emission significantly.
How consistent is the data available to telecom operators? So, for example, if I'm looking at a cloud supplier, or I'm looking at an equipment supplier, am I always comparing apples and oranges, or am I able to compare like for like?
Yeah, actually, the clear definition about the scoping of the greenhouse gas emission is very, very fundamental and also important. And in the past several decades, this industry also have a lot of acquisition, mergement. So if we do have quite full scope carbon emission inventory, maybe next year the operation territory, the entity within the group has been changed very significantly. So the carbon emission gonna also based from the territory within the company to adjust as long as one entity has been sold out, one entity has been merged into the group. So that is something like we, KPMG, provide some of the greenhouse gas assurance to assure that the companies in this sector to have a consistent way and the benchmark well completely to meet the criteria for the carbon emission data. Normally that's why that as a professional organization, it's very important because we also play the role as a third-party assurance to assure the telecom industries whether their carbon emission has been already meet the accounting principle for the carbon emission.
Another thing I wanted to ask you is about, you mentioned financial instruments earlier, and Telephonic, for example, issued a green bond at the beginning of this year, and we're starting to see that happening more within the telecom sector. Is that an effective tool, do you think? I mean, does that help companies?
The telecom industry right now has been already moved to the new era of 5G, and then maybe sooner or later with 6G and much more advanced. And then for those kind of newly development, there must be a lot of advancing the equipment system. New technology will be the case to be smarter but less energy consumption or resource dependency. So for those kind of advanced development, the company all need money, need capital. And then the green bond or some other financial sustainable finance instrument or service will become a new alliance between the telecom key player and also the capital provider, the financial institution. So that combine something like become a new collaborated force for moving sustainability forward. And because of the capital market, the financial institution, they have been driven by their external stakeholder say, hey, you provide financial instrument, you also need to have a positive impact for reducing carbon emission by better life and less energy, etc. So the financial institution also need to build up that kind of partnership with the telecom industry, because this industry is still growing very fast and expanding the service, and especially more and more people also need to leverage the smarter devices and the new second census digitalized system support for moving their life into a much more sustainable way. I think in the past, the telecom industry, the industry put a lot of attention on innovation, advanced technology, but less in sustainability driven solutions. So that means we call it triple bottom line. We can have advanced technology, digitalization, and digital transformation, but we also need to create the environmental positive impact and social value. So we, KPMG, put a lot of effort to advocate the telecom industries. Now it's the time for us to deliver the total solution with triple bottom line and positive impact. So we are very excited to initiate that kind of discussion with the TM Forum to see that I think that there must be a lot of new collaborating partnership area that we can also collaborate with TM Forum's member together for moving everything forward in a much more quicker, fast pace.
There's certainly a lot of telecom minds focused on energy efficiency and sustainability at the moment. But I noticed Telenor, for example, I think it was yesterday, put out a profit warning because of energy costs. And I think particularly in Europe, it's a really challenging question at the moment.
Yeah. So I think regarding to the current the challenge, not just only we need to reduce the energy costs by a much more higher efficiency technology, and then we also need to pay attention to much less carbon emission by using renewable energy or some much more advanced, for example, like hydrogen energy. So
that may be a bit further down the road, though.
Yeah. So we know that more and more telecom industry now, they are not just only to use the green energy. They even has been already put a lot of effort on exploring renewable energy or advanced energy, become an energy developer.
So I suppose carbon offsetting isn't really viable long term, is it really?
Yeah. And then because of the cost effectiveness, so carbon offsetting will be also a very good alternative way that the telecom industry can also leverage some other external assistance by removing carbon emission by leveraging the carbon offsetting scheme.
It's been a real pleasure to meet you, and I'll be in touch with KPMG soon. Thank you.